Hello, my dear brothers and sisters. Before we proceed further with the story, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video. Now, let's begin. Today's story is from June 24th, 2023, when the police car, cutting through the night, stopped in front of Subhash's house. The scene there was like something from a horror movie. In the veranda, amidst the dim light, two women were lying injured. Their moans were making the whole atmosphere even more painful. The police officers immediately questioned Subhash. He said with trembling hands and a scared voice, "This is my daughter-in-law, Dolly, and relative, Sushma." Seeing the serious condition of both women, the police, without wasting any time, sent them to Sci-Fi Hospital. But this was just the beginning. As soon as the police officers reached the courtyard of the house, their eyes stopped. In the middle of the courtyard, 3 dead bodies were lying there. Blood was scattered all around, as if death had played a cruel game there. Now everything was clearly visible in the bright light of the police. All 3 were murdered by slitting their throats, and there was a look of unbearable pain on every face. The police asked Subhash, "Whose bodies are these?" he told, in a trembling voice. "This is my younger son, Abhishek alias Bullen, who was only 20 years old. The second body is of my son-in-law, Saurabh, who was 26 years old. And the third is Deepak, my son's best friend, who was only 21 years old." Even the police officers were stunned to hear Subhash's words. The question of what had happened to turn this house into a bloody tragedy hung in the air, and everyone was desperate to find the answer. A blood-stained axe was lying near the dead bodies. Perhaps it had been used to murder them, so the police secured the axe. SP Vinod Kumar, along with his colleagues, reached the terrace, which was along the way from the courtyard. He saw the scene there and was shocked. Inside the room, the dead bodies of Subhash's son, Sonu, and his newlywed bride, Soni, were lying. The henna on both of their hands and the hair on their feet had not even come off when they were killed. Both of them were murdered by strangulation. Sonu's age was around 23 years, while Soni's age was 20 years. When SP Vinod Kumar reached the backyard of the house during the inspection, the dead body of another youth was lying there. During interrogation, it was revealed that the dead body was that of Subhash's elder son, Shivar. It was found out that Shivar had murdered the entire family and then committed suicide due to the fear of being caught. Shivar was around 28 years old. Near the dead body of Shivar, a pistol was lying. He had committed suicide by shooting himself with this pistol. The police secured the pistol. When the police searched Shivar, they found pepper spray and 2 empty sleeping pill packets in his pocket. The police also secured these items. Additionally, the police seized a mortar and shovel from the room, which Shivar had used to attack his wife, sister-in-law, and father. This incident occurred on June 24th, 2023, in Gokulpura Arsara village, Kishni Police Station, Mainpuri district, Uttar Pradesh. When the Kishni police station received news of the mass massacre that had taken place the previous night, there was panic in the police department. The officers rushed toward the incident site. Later, Sa Anil Kumar, SP Vinod Kumar, ASP Rajesh Kumar, and Coach Chandrasekhar Singh reached the spot. By then, a huge crowd had gathered at Subhash's house. Even the police officers were surprised to see such a large crowd of villagers. They felt that antisocial elements had misled the crowd. To prevent a ruckus, additional forces were called and deployed in Gokulpura village. After hearing the news of the mass murder, a gathering of relatives began at Sush Yadav's house. Any special relatives who came were met with the pitiful cries of the women, which would tear at the hearts of those present. The atmosphere became even more sorrowful when hundreds of people, including the parents of the newlywed bride, deceased Soni, arrived. Vedram and his wife Sushma burst into tears after seeing the dead bodies of their daughter and son-in-law. Their pitiful cries were so intense that there was hardly anyone present who didn't have tears in their eyes. Even the policemen could not control their tears. The parents of deceased Deepak from Firozabad were also sobbing near the body of their son. Priyanka, too, was crying near the body of her husband, Saurabh, with her mother, Sharda Devi, consoling her. It was heartbreaking to see the dead bodies of her son, daughter-in-law, and son-in-law lying in front of her eyes. The police officers, while expressing their condolences, pacified the grieving family members separating them from the bodies. Then, after filling out the panchnama, the bodies of Sanu, Bullen, Deepak, Saurabh, Shivar, and Soni were sent to Mainpuri District Hospital for post-mortem. After sending the bodies for post-mortem, ASP Vinod Kumar gathered information about the incident from the head of the family, Subhash Yadav. Yadav revealed that this bloody incident was carried out by his elder son, Shivar. On June 22nd, there was the wedding of his elder son, Sanu. The wedding procession went to Gokulpura Arsara. On June 23rd, the procession returned in the afternoon. The daughter-in-law was shown her face at home, and other rituals were completed. There was a lot of music, and everyone danced to the DJ until midnight. Shivar also participated in the celebration. However, what was going on in his mind during the second half of the night was a mystery. The cruel murderer then attacked and killed 5 people. Perhaps his intention was to kill everyone, but he and his wife and daughter survived. SP Vinod Kumar had camped in Gokulpura Arsara village and did not take any risks until the cremation of the bodies was done. In the evening, Ag Rajiv Krishna and Ig Deepak Kumar reached Gokulpura, inspected the site of the incident, and spoke with Subhash Chandra Yadav, the head of the house. They also gathered information related to the incident from SP Vinod Kumar and issued some necessary instructions. The post-mortem of the dead bodies was done by a panel of 3 doctors along with videography. Regional MLA Brijesh Kathuria stayed with the family members of the deceased and kept them patient. After the post-mortem, the bodies were handed over to their families. Deepak's body was accompanied by police arrangements. The bodies of Firozabad and Saurabh were sent to his village, Chand Havilia. Subhash performed the cremation of 3 sons, Sun Bullen and Shivar. Meanwhile, Vedram Yadav took the body of his daughter, Soni. When I reached my village, Gokulpura, the atmosphere became very sad. The entire village gathered to see the dead body of the beloved daughter. There were tears in every eye. The pain was that the daughter, whom the entire village had happily sent to her in-law's house, was found dead, wrapped in a shroud. Former Minister of State, Ramsavak Yadav, had also come. He was very sad because his beloved daughter, Soni, belonged to his village and family. Vedram was consoled. He himself was crying due to the mass massacre. There was a stir in the political circles as well, since the matter was related to the Yadav family. Dimple Yadav, an MP from Mainpuri, reached Gokulpura village the very next day. Minister of State for Tourism, Javeer Singh, also expressed deep sorrow over the mass massacre. Shivar, why did he kill his own brothers? Why did the feeling of jealousy or hatred develop in his mind towards his family? What did he want to achieve? To understand all this, we need to examine his family dispute background in Uttar Pradesh. Gokulpura Arsara is a village under Kishni police station of Mainpuri district, dominated by Yadavs. Subhash Chandra Yadav's family lived in this village. Apart from his wife, Sharda Devi, there were 3 sons, Shiv, Sanu Abhishek alias Bullen, and a daughter, Priyanka. They had a permanent house on the roadside. He was a farmer and used to support his family through farming. Subhash Chandra Yadav himself was not educated, but he wanted to educate his sons and make them capable. Hence, he paid more attention to their education than his earnings. He used to spend a large part of his income on the education of his sons. 2 sons, Sanu and Bullen, were smart in studies, but the elder son, Shivar, was weak in studies. After somehow passing the intermediate examination, he stopped studying and started helping his father in farming. But Shivar was not interested in farming. After this, he started looking for a job. After a lot of effort, he got the job of a salesman in a firm located in Mainpuri. Since he also got commissions from selling agricultural equipment, he started earning a good income. Now, he began living luxuriously. When Shivar started earning money, Subhash Chandra started thinking about his marriage. He wanted a girl who could take care of his house, even if she was not very educated. In those days, Horrifying Yadav, a resident of Karhal, Mainpuri, started arranging his daughter's marriage. When Subhash Yadav came to him with Dolly's relationship proposal, he was eager for Shivar's marriage, so he accepted the proposal. After the matter was settled from both sides, on the 8th of February 2019, Hari Singh married Dolly to Shivar. Dolly, the bride, came to her in-law's house and entered Shivar's life. Dolly was not only beautiful, but also polite and virtuous. She took care of the house as soon as she came to her in-laws' house. She used to serve her husband well, and her mother-in-law left no stone unturned in serving her father-in-law. After 1 year of marriage, Dolly gave birth to a daughter, whom she named Pihu. The happiness of the house increased further with the birth of Pihu. Shivar loved Dolly very much, and he was deeply in love with her. He was so lost in her that he forgot his work. Because of his carelessness and failure to go to work, he even lost his job. When Shivar became unemployed, he started wandering. He associated with some people of criminal nature and began taking drugs. Dolly refused to tolerate this. When she objected, he would make her ejaculate, and sometimes even raise his hand on her. Subhash's worry increased after seeing his son going down the wrong path. He could not understand why his son, Shivar, had changed. After a lot of discussion, Subhash Chandra got Shivar to open a flax shop in Kishni town. Initially, Shivar earned income from this business of making banners and posters, but later, due to borrowing, he started incurring losses. He struggled even to pay the rent of the shop and the wages of the artisans. When the business suffered losses, he had to close the shop. Instead of earning in this business, he became a debtor. By now, Subhash Chandra's daughter Priyanka had grown up. She was beautiful, but not very educated. As soon as she passed the 8th grade, her mother, Sharda, stopped her studies and engaged her in household work. She believed that it would be harder to find a suitable boy for a more educated girl, whereas Subhash Yadav did not agree with his wife. When Subhash Yadav started searching for a suitable boy for Priyanka, she liked a boy named Saurabh. Saurabh's father, Ramkrishna Yadav, lived in Chand Havilia village of Mainpuri district. Saurabh, who was supposed to be 24 years old, used to do milk business and also helped with farming alongside his father. Subhash liked Saurabh, so he arranged Priyanka's marriage with Saurabh on June 6, 2021. Priyanka had everything she needed in her in-laws' house, and so she, Subhash, started living a happy life with her husband in her in-laws' house. While Subhash was unhappy with his elder son, Shiv, he was also satisfied with his other 2 sons. The middle son, Sanu, got a job as an accountant after studying in Rajasthan. He worked in a factory located in Kushkara and earned a good salary. The youngest, Abhishek alias Bolan, didn't get a job but opened a photocopy shop near Kishni Tehsil, where he started earning a good income. Abhishek and Sanu were both fathers. They used to do everything as per Shiv's wishes, and hence, both of them had become the stars in his eyes. Meanwhile, Shivar, after losing money in flax work, took a loan and started a street business, but he failed in that too. Now, he was more indebted than before. He asked for money from his father and brothers to repay the debt, but they did not give him any. Due to his debts, his family started ignoring him. Troubled by the debt, Shivar left home and went to Pune, where he worked in a factory. It seemed that Shiv had been missing from home for a year, after which he returned. As soon as he came back, the loan sharks started circling his house. Shiv again asked for money from his family members, but everyone rejected him and did not give him a single penny. In desperation, Shiv fought with his family. He snatched jewelry from Gadak Dali, sold it, and paid off a small loan or 2. He then left home and went to Kota, Noida, where he started working in a printing press. After a few days, he brought his wife, Dolly, there. Dolly was happy with him for a month or 2, but then a fight broke out between them, which was over the selling of jewelry. One day, the fight escalated. Shiv first beat his wife and then slammed her head into the wall, causing her head to burst in anger. Dolly took her innocent daughter with her and went to Anand Vihar bus stand. From there, she boarded a bus to Karhal and then went to her parents' house. When she told her parents about her husband's actions, they hugged her daughter and called her Shiva. It was decided that she would not go back with Shiv. After a few days, when Shivar went to his in-laws' house to take Dolly back, Dolly's parents got angry. They scolded Shivar and clearly refused to send their daughter with him. The groom tried to pacify Dolly and even apologized, but Dolly did not relent. She flatly refused to go with her husband. Humiliated, Shiv went back home. He told his parents everything, and then he went to Noida. When Dolly did not return to her in-laws' house for several months, whispers started circulating in the village about her. To save her honor, Subhash went to Dolly's parents' house and somehow convinced them to send her back. Subhash sent Dolly back to her in-laws' house with many conditions. After a few days, when Shivar found out about Dolly's return, he came to take her back. But Subhash refused to send her with him, saying that due to the departure of the daughter-in-law, there would be trouble at home, especially because Dolly was breathing heavily and Sharda was unwell. Shivar would now come home for 15 days, stay for 2 to 3 days, and then go back to Noida for work. But whenever he came, he would ask his father for money. He would make demands, fight if not given what he wanted, and even get into trouble with his mother, Sharda. One day, the limit was reached. Shivar raised his hand against Father Subhash. Sharda, displeased with him raising his hand on her husband, fought with him and slapped Shivar several times. But one day, while coming home, Shivar found out that his father and 2 brothers had together bought a plot and 5 bighas of fertile land along the roadside, but his name had not been registered on the plot. The fire of hatred toward his family rose in his heart. When Shivar started burning with rage, he asked his father about it, and Subhash explained that Sanu and Bullen had bought the farm with their earnings. Hearing this, Shivar angrily said, "You people have money to buy a farm plot, but you don't have money to repay our loan. This is injustice." Shivar also talked to his brother-in-law, Sorab, and maternal uncle, Vinod, about this injustice, but they also did not listen to him. Now, Shivar started hating his maternal uncle and brother-in-law. Subhash's middle son, Sanu, worked in a factory located in Kushkura, Rajasthan, where Vedram Yadav also worked. Vedram Yadav was from Gangapura village in Etawah district. Since Sanu and Vedram were from the same area, they easily got acquainted. Later, their friendship grew stronger. Whenever both had free time, they would sit together and talk about family matters. Since both belonged to the Yadav caste, their bond became even stronger day by day. Vedram used to work, but his wife, Sushma, was responsible for the house and the farm. She took care of the 5 children. Vedram's daughter, Soni, was the eldest among her siblings. She had been beautiful since childhood, but at the age of 16, when she stepped into her youth, her beauty blossomed even more. She had passed her high school examination from a sit-inter college, Gangapura. She wanted to continue her studies, but her mother had stopped her and made her study at home. Vedram was busy with work and worried about the marriage of his young daughter. Whenever he met Sanu at the factory, he thought of his daughter, Soni. He felt that Sanu was the perfect match for her and would keep her happy. The relationship was arranged, and the pair became close. Vedram tried to probe Sanu's feelings several times through gestures, but Sanu laughed and avoided it, saying, "Marriages happen as per the wishes of the parents. First, their consent, and then mine." Yes, Vedram got Sanu's hint. This time, in March 2023, during the holy festival holiday, when Vedram came home, he reached Sanu's village, Gokulpura, after a long time, with his daughter's relationship. Without tying any formal connection, he told Sanu's father, Subhash Yadav, that he would marry his daughter, Soni. His son, Sanu, had come to him with a relationship. He liked him. After mutual discussions, Soni's relationship with Sanu was fixed. The date of marriage was set for June 22nd, 2020. After this, both families started preparing for the wedding. Shiv started preparing, too. When the groom found out that Sanu's marriage was fixed, he got angry. When he came home from Noida, he started quarreling with his parents and said, "You have the money to organize the marriage, but don't you have money to repay my loan? Am I a stepson or someone's illegitimate child? After all, why am I being ignored at home?" Shivar asked for 20,000 from Subhash on the pretext of marriage preparations, but he refused to give the money. Due to this refusal, Shivar's hatred reached its peak. He started thinking that he would not be able to achieve anything this way, and he would have to snatch everything. He decided in his mind that he would wipe out the entire family. After that, he would live a comfortable life and become the owner of the land, property, house, and plot. To make his dangerous plans successful, he started preparing. First, he made a sharp axe from the blade of a fodder cutting machine. After that, with the help of a local criminal, he bought a pistol and cartridges. He kept the axe and pistol safely in his room. Not only this, but he also made other preparations to deal with every danger. He arranged for chili powder and sleeping pills. Shivar did not let anyone know about his dangerous plans. Subhash Yadav and his 2 sons were busy preparing for the wedding. Invitation cards, etc., had been distributed. In the village, the excitement for the wedding began a week before, with relatives and women arriving. The coming and going had also started. Sanu's sister Priyanka and aunt had also arrived. The mandap was set up on June 20th. After that, auspicious songs began being sung to the beat of the dholak under the mandap. Subhash Yadav did not invite his elder son, Shivar, to the wedding. Still, he came home from Noida 3 days ago. He started doing every task with joy and happiness. He did not let his brothers know at all what was going on in his mind. On June 22nd, 2023, the procession took place with musical instruments. At 4 p.m., the procession left for Gangapura. At 8 p.m., Vedram and his family welcomed the procession. In the procession, Shiv, the groom, danced vigorously to the tune of the DJ. The bride and groom also danced a lot. Shiv danced to the tune of the DJ, too. He was happy, but he was quarreling with the girl's family over small matters, sometimes over lights, sometimes over water. He was getting angry at the family's advice. He became silent when the DJ stopped, and he became so angry that he returned home on a motorcycle that night. On the morning of June 23rd, Vedram and his wife Sushma took their children to Lal. The couple bid farewell amidst tears in the afternoon. The procession returned to Gokulpura village. After that, most of the relatives left, but Sanu's sister Priyanka, brother-in-law Saurabh, maternal aunt Sushma, and friend Deepak Upadhyay stayed till the evening to show their faces. Other rituals continued to the beat of the dholak. There was dancing and singing, followed by more dancing to the DJ until late at night. Sanu and Soni also danced a lot. Deepak, Saurabh, and Shivar also danced a lot. At 12 o'clock at night, Shivar, troubled by his debts, brought a cold drink and started carrying out his plans. He cleverly mixed the powder of intoxicating pills in the cold drink and handed a glass to everyone. Everyone started drinking the cold drink. While drinking the cold drink, Soni's mother, Sushma, called. Soni received the call and told her that everything was fine at her in-law's house. The dance had stopped just a few minutes ago, and brother-in-law Shivar had brought cold drinks. Everyone was drinking there. After drinking the cold drink, Saurabh Balan and friend Deepak Upadhyay went to lie down in the courtyard. Sanu's aunt, Sushma, sister-in-law Dali, sister Priyanka, and mother Sharda Devi slept on the veranda. Sanu and Subhash Chandra lay down on the cot near the veranda. His wife, Soni, went to the rooftop room to celebrate their wedding night and lay down. They closed the door of the living room from inside. After drinking the drug-laced cold drink, everyone went to sleep, but sleep was far from Shivar's eyes. After 3 o'clock in the night, he came into the room, took out the hidden pistol, then returned and put it in his waist. After that, he came out of the room with an axe. Since the door of the living room was closed, he hit the wall and reached the roof with the help of a ladder. Inside the room, Sanu and Soni were lying in an untidy state. Perhaps they were sleeping happily after celebrating their wedding night. Shivar cast a hateful glance at both of them and killed them by hitting them on the neck with the axe. After killing the newlyweds, Shivar came into the courtyard by opening the door of the living room. Here, brother Balan, brother-in-law Saurabh, and brother's friend Deepak were sleeping. Shivar hit their necks and faces with the axe. He killed all 3 by attacking them one by one. After committing 5 murders, Shivar came from the courtyard to the veranda. Here, he attacked his wife Dali and maternal aunt Sushma with a shovel. Sushma's leg and hand got injured. They both screamed, waking Subhash, his wife Sharda, and daughter Priyanka. All 3 saw the fierce form of Lord Shiva, and they trembled. Yet, they ran to catch him. Meanwhile, Lord Shiva attacked Subhash with an axe. He did it, but his life was saved due to the axe turning. He only got a minor injury on his hand. When Subhash, Sharda, and Priyanka gathered courage and tried to catch Shivar, he ran toward the back of the house. After committing the murder of the family, Shivar took out a pistol, which was stuck in his waist, and fired near his temple. When Priyanka and Sharda reached there after hearing the sound of the shot, Shivar was dead. Mother and daughter started screaming after hearing Sharda and Priyanka's screams. People gathered and saw the horrifying scene inside the house. Everyone's heart trembled. After that, a sensation spread in the village. Not only Gokulpura, but also people from nearby villages gathered. When the police got the information, top officials also arrived at the spot and started investigating. Journalists from print and electronic media also gathered,